a lot of really powerful things. They are not going to be available here in this second game. Nongshim electing to go with second pick as well. We'll see what kind of counter picks they have up their sleeve. As this is perfect, especially because that is perfect.
Yes, that is perfect. Thank you for.
It's perfect because it's normal red side, blue side, and it's all in order, and it's fine, and it's game 5, and my brain's not great at the best of times.
We had the first pick, second pick, same arrangement last game, but it was flipped. So now we have what you used to. But yeah, so this time a little bit of a mix-up in terms of the bands coming together, because remember it was the Nautilus, Anivia, Zinzao that KT led with. Varus, Anivia, Renekton now coming through. And Nongshim have kind of gone more with the banning OPs. I say that, kind of actually matching 2 other bans of the previous time. They're getting rid of that Orianna. And it's just an Ambessa first pick, which based on that Renekton ban, it's probably an Ambessa for perfect. We heard talking earlier about how he doesn't want to see Ambessa in the jungle anymore.
Yeah.
Technically it's a flex, but we're expecting, based on that Renekton ban, it is just going to be in the top lane. But we'll see.
I think, is it time to just lock Yunara Lulu or something like that? Like a hyper carry in the bottom lane, try and have a little bit more control of later game team fights. Yes, I guess, is the answer.
I think
at least half.
You think as well, what would you match into it? Because, Varus gone, Ashe Seraphine is gone. It's basically like Corki Nami. It's like your only real response. So I think they could just slam that. Now the question will be, will they take the Lulu now or will they leave it till later? Or they want to go the Yunara, Nocturne, Lulu. But the risk with this is KT can obviously just say, well, we don't want to give that over.
Yeah.
And it was KT who played the Nocturne Lulu earlier last week, so they're obviously very aware.
And you can also, like, Lulu Ambessa is a pretty good combo on top of that, even if it's not coming out of the jungle. Cuzz is considering a Vi to begin with, and so not going to be picking the Lulu alongside something if they are going to pick it away, and they might just give it up.
One in that lockdown for the Yunara, we often see Nautilus banned when Yunara is picked up. So once that point and click lockdown, are they going to try and deny the Lulu, or are they going to go for maybe something in the mid lane? Looks like they're going for that Aurora. A lot of threat, a lot of dive potential with the Vi and the Ambessa, and just getting that core off that top side. Both games this series, KT have been very much prioritizing just going, hey, we want a strong core top side. Unless...
Well, this is throwing a bit of a spanner into the works, as the Ziggs, theoretically a flex. This Lulu is an absolute no-brainer. We were highly expecting it. But is this going to be an aiming Ziggs, or is it going to be a BDD Ziggs? Haven't really seen BDD on it.
Yeah, I would expect the aiming Ziggs, because although we've seen Ziggs mid, it was into Azir specifically, and Azir is not available. But, we could be surprised.
Yep.
I will say into Nocturne specifically, your satchel is great at completely disengaging you from the tether and getting you out of the range. So just pretty good in that regard. And when Vi and Ambessa go in and hold a target still, so easy just to press ult on top of it. So
And actually, into Nocturne, right? He'd be relying on his spell shield to avoid the satchel, but you just minefield yourself, and so that's going to eat the spell shield. So it's pretty much a freebie.
It's really easy to play Ziggs into Nocturne, honestly, and with regards to the self-peel. So as long as you're not throwing your satchel aggressively, you should be fine. We get the Annie band away, which I think makes sense in terms of pairing up with the Nocturne, but also, I'm thinking of things that you'd want to pair up. I mean, obviously Orianna is the best with Nocturne, but it's banned away. But things like the Aurora that was hovered before by KT can also pair up well.
Yeah, we might actually see KT ban it.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see exactly what is going to be taken away first. Is the Nautilus?
Nautilus. Yeah, Nautilus good into the Yunara, and Leona just great with Ziggs. So they are expecting a Ziggs in the bot lane based on what they are taking away here.
Yeah, and I think we are too, based on the lack of Ziggs that BDD has played throughout his career. I'm not entirely sure he's played any game of Ziggs ever.
And KT do end up banning the Aurora themselves, as we were talking about. So wanted to limit like the dive threat available to Nongshim, and Kingen is just going to lock this Zaahen that we saw earlier.
Right.
Hopefully does a bit better than it did into the Renekton, which I think it should. The Ambessa not as much of an early threat. Ahri looking like it's on the cards. Obviously something that has a lot of safety and can disengage from the Nocturne, but also that follow-up threat. Very much, we see a Yunara, we're just picking like a dive-focused composition to counter Exploder. I will say though, Zaahen can be a really frustrating frontline to play into as an Ahri, because, you know, it feels like he's buying a lot of time. You don't even get a reset from him. And also just hard to cut through, so...
Oh, Effort did both. So he did the Teemo hover and they lost. That was the one game that they lost. And then he did the Nasus hover, which is the one he always does. And now he's thinking about Shen, as the Shen Ziggs bottom lane is a consideration. Picking Shen into Lehends is a choice, but instead, it's going to be the Cow. With the Nivea band, it feels like a better option, and they just don't want to interact with this bottom lane at all.
Yeah. They are playing just to scale up and be powerful in team fights. Very dive-focused composition, very much about locking down this AD carry on the other side, making sure that Yunara can't play the game. And for Nongshim, I feel like you want a second threat in the mid lane. And one who can steal an Alistar ult, an Ahri ult.
Oh my goodness.
Pick and choose, honestly.
And this was a classic matchup into Ahri. I feel like the Sylas has always liked this matchup. Well, not necessarily liked it, but been okay with it. And now gets to take an Alistar ult. So Scout, absolutely going to try and take control of this game number 2. And as it all shakes out, I love this Nongshim draft. Yeah. I think it looks absolutely terrifying.
I'm really concerned with the DPS on the side of KT, because there's this double bruiser front line where I think Scout and Kingen are going to be so hard to cut through. Kingen obviously just has a second health bar, and Scout might as well with the Alistar ult. And if you're putting so much effort into exploding the Yunara, even if you're successful, which, you know, you might not always be, even if you are successful, are you going to have gas in the tank to deal with this bruiser melee that's going to be encroaching on your team? I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm a little bit frightened for KT's prospects here, but we'll just have to see what they can actually do. As obviously, if they manage to get the Wombo combo off, it is going to be devastating, right? But as soon as Nongshim can actually withstand that initial salvo, oh my goodness, I just don't think the KT are going to be able to do anything to this squad, especially the Sylas. Let's get into it, though. All right, here we are as KT look to see whether they can challenge us on our assessment of this draft, which is looking a little bit rough for now.
EDD with the Ignite.
Damn.
So he is like, I am going to kill this Sylas. Ignite electrocute, a lot of early damage.
I think he knows that he kind of has to kill this Sylas a lot before he has access to the Unbreakable Will.
Yeah, not really going to have a ton of lane access. And I think something that really Yunara gets a lot of power with is when, and it's not always the case, but when she is the one who is dictating the pace of the lane and can just hit minions as much as she wants. Always having the passive stack. And that is going to be the case here in the bot lane. So it's not going to be a fun time for KT's bot lane. They are going to be farming with the bouncing bombs a good amount, and until you get some mana on the Ziggs, it's difficult. You know, if you have to use a Q for every single CS or couple CS, feels bad, as does taking all that damage early.
Yeah, Effort is just playing with headbutt only. Needed to press heal to have some sort of other button. And Scout lands some chains here onto BDD. Good electrocute as a follow-up, though. And this is exactly what BDD built his Ahri to do. And that is trade well in the early stages of the game. Sponge looking to come on over for an early gank, though. Level 3 waits not a minute as the charm is spell shielded gorgeously. The flash comes down. BDD is still taken out. First blood to Scout.
Just a beautiful chains as well to follow the flash there from Scout. Everything connecting. And I think the charm onto the Nocturne was a mistake. I mean, it seems inevitable that he's just going to spell shield that off the rip, so maybe a wasted ability there to give him that extra attack speed.
Yeah. So much so that you dropped your pen lid on the ground.
I was so stunned.
Yeah.
As was BDD.
Indeed. Stunned to the point of death chamber as aiming is going to satchel Taeyoon away. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those sort of, hate to say told you so type moments, as Aux already alluded to the fact that this was going to be a difficult game for KT. Well, it's already started off very difficult, and this is not the time where it's supposed to be. And really hard to play.
Dying early and falling behind when you have Ignite feels so rough. So yeah, the Charm thrown to the Nocturne,
oh man,
it's just always going to get spell shielded, you know?
And BDD flashed in a straight line as well. So Scout throws out the flash, doesn't even have to adjust the position of that one as, oh, I've seen this play before. This time Cuzz is in the area as Sponge moves over. There's the Vault Breaker, and he should be taken out. Spell Shield does nothing at all, as now Scout able to dash over the wall with the Abscond. But still, good answer here for KT. Might be enough to get BDD back into this lane.
This was much better.
Oh, there's a Flash Pulverize. Turns into a little critter as well. Adorable, as now Effort is likely to be dead. One more auto comes down, and Taeyoon locks down the kill.
You know that thing I said before the series about how Lehends will just be like the litmus test for for supports, and if you're not playing at a certain level, he just dismantles you. That kind of felt like that. Getting the polymorph off on the Flash Pulverize, in meaning Effort can't line it up to hit you on a tower. That was pretty huge.
Yeah, ridiculous. Hi, everyone. Pen lid replay. Let's have a look. Picking up the pen lid. There it is.
Yeah, this is helping.
Oh, see, I helped. We got the pen lid moved with our feet. Perfect adjustment.
That was appreciated, honestly. That was teamwork. That was synergy. You know, I think we see a lot of teamwork on the Rift. We don't often talk about the teamwork on the desk.
Well, there's also now some teamwork happening here as the flash out, as Cuzz flashes in, will allow Sponge to escape. As teleport from aiming as well, as he looks to try and join in the fun, but it's a turtle port, unfortunately, so it takes him about 16 years to get there. Let's have a look at this replay one more time. We got replays for everything.
Yeah, so this one was much better because they just wait for him to face check into the brush, and I think the fact that they just walked in there and didn't expect the possibility that Cuzz could be there was a big mistake. And here, so Lehends gets the polymorph off
as he was going for the play.
That's just such an insane read.
Yeah.
Like he pre-casts it.
Yep.
That's actually so insane. He just like knew. He just read him like a book. That's actually such an insane play from Lehends. And the thing is, because he's slowed when he's in the polymorph as well, he couldn't like get behind him enough to knock him back. Just crazy. Like, you know, Lulu's on a champion, you think about like, oh, like mechanical expression, but that was insane.
And it's always been Lehends that's been phenomenal at this champion as well. For many years, it's been one of the picks that he's really found a lot of mastery with. I know a lot of people think of him as the Singed guy, the Elise guy, even the Yuumi guy. But his Lulu's been phenomenal. And showing that still.
I'd be so tilted if I was Effort. What do you mean he polymorphed me? Just
yeah.
Was I not obvious?
Flashed!
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be all that reactable. As Cuzz, with Cease and Desist now available, looking to try and challenge Scout, who does have the Spirit Rush. So it is going to be hard to lock down this Sylas. Right now we do have a big CS lead for BDD, though. As Scout looking to try and get into position for something here, but Orbit Deception is scary amounts of damage with that Electrocute alongside. So BDD still holding down the fort here in mid. Chain Lash starting to do some work, though. As BDD misses a cannon. Yeah, zoom in. Thank you very much for that one, Jonah Strong.
He's up in farm, but missing that cannon.
Yeah.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, Scout is up in vibes. 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not even close. As
I feel like when you're playing a Sylas in a game like this, you can fall like 30 CS behind, and you just kind of like...
Yeah.
You look at the ults you're going to be able to steal later, and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm still going to be immortal as I walk up to Effort and be a better version of what he's trying to do, because I'll have 5 extra levels. Kind of the feeling. As Effort only level 4 for now.
That's the thing, is we don't often get to see the super leveled Alistar ult, but you gain more damage resist.
Yep.
With the ranks, and like level 16 Alistar ult is disgusting. We just never see it on Alistar because
nope.
He never gets to level 16.
There used to be that time before the headbutt Trinity Force interaction change where we had the Alistar top.
Oh my god, that was obnoxious.
Just the most uncounterable.
You know what the meta
possible.
was then? I remember, because way back then, I was actually playing top lane a bit.
Yeah.
The meta before then was AD Nidalee top.
Oh yeah.
And then the Sheen Alistar came out, and it just completely annihilated the AD Nidalee, because Nidalee would walk up to auto and you just headbutt auto.
Yep.
And there was nothing you could do. But like, what a vile meta that was.
And like, actually, it wasn't just to counter Nidalee. It was to counter actually any champion ever in the game ever.
It countered everything, but I'm talking specifically like AD Nidalee was like, hey, you can't counter this, and then countered everything.
Yeah. God, that was silly.
God, just those are some of.
That was like 2013 League of Legends, I'm pretty sure. Or 2014, maybe?
I think 2014.
Yeah, because that was when Legacy went to Gamescom. And didn't do all that well, but that was the time.
Man, yeah, do not miss those times.
No. Sponge is not going to miss the Dragon either, as he's looking to take that one down. 700 gold is the advantage for Nongshim, but it looks like that mid lane gank was enough to at least get KT within touching distance, as BDD wanting to hit that charm, but gets the flash.
I think the threat of the Ignite just adds so much to like a charm in that situation. Like knowing the healing reductions there, the extra damage, just means Scout has to play so much more respectful. So good pickup there. BDD just constantly trying to have pressure in this lane. And both solo laners having a good amount of pressure here. It's only really bot lane that is in a bit of a deficit.
Yep.
But I mean, now aiming, you know, level 6, has the ultimate in a pinch if you want to clear out a wave, has Lost Chapter to be able to just wipe away waves.
And he's also not the main character in this game, right? He just wants to be getting as much money as possible at this stage of the game. They kind of knew that this was going to be a lane that they weren't able to actually challenge.
You say aiming's trying to get as much money as possible.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game? Last game, he was pushing a side wave in the middle of a team fight.
That is a good point. I mean, later on in the game, he will definitely be doing that.
Yeah.
But right now, if we were to be his coach, we would be saying, you're not the main character. And just try to play safe.
And aiming would say under his breath, yes, I am.
And then no to most of those points. Effort does have some Swifties now put together. Hopefully that'll allow him to at least circumnavigate some of these fights. As Cuzz over the wall, BDD should be able to grab this extra plate. As you can see, the cow,
but if the cow
galloping
comes,
up the mid lane.
But if Alistar comes, he can steal his ult, so...
Oh no, yeah, actually, Effort, leave.
Yes,
he's going to, he is. Well, Lehends turns up as well.
I was thinking, it's like if they go for a 3-man dive and he just steals the Alistar ult, it's just, there's no way.
Yep. I think Effort just needs to make sure he's never there for any team fights ever. That's the counter strategy.
Oh, you know what actually the counter strategy is?
What's that?
You buy Zhonya's.
Oh.
And when he shoots the hijack at you, you just stasis, and it goes on cooldown, and he doesn't get the ultimate.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's what he needs to do. Can you also just buy a Banshee's Veil? Or a Verdant Barrier? Does that stop it as well?
I'm pretty sure. But the thing with that is it's very, like, he's not going to ult you when you have Banshees.
Yeah, right, but that means he's not going to ult you.
But they'll just wait for someone to proc it. But the thing with Zhonya's...
Then he can Zhonya's.
The thing with... have them both. The thing with Zhonya's is they will just ult you and then you stasis and they go...
Yeah. It may use up your entire, you know, purchasing power in the game. I think worth 100%. As that is all, like, the entire reason that Scout picked this Sylas is because of it.
Used to do it. I mean, it happened a lot when stopwatch was a thing, but when a Mumu support came into the meta, people were buying stopwatch on that.
Oh, yeah.
You just...
Oh, Scout in a lot of trouble as he stole the cease and desist. That means Effort can come in, and Scout is very, very dead. Effort actually the one to pick up that kill as the trample comes down. Sponge able to avoid the Orb of Deception, but KT able to at least lock down a kill.
I think that's the funniest thing is that the Alistar turns up immediately after he takes the Vial.
He's like, now I'm allowed to come in. Speaking of Vial, man, Cuzz is just kind of everywhere. Still, Kingen with the double pullback. That looked real sexy, but I don't know about this one as he goes down to the passive. Now Taeyoon makes his way in the Wild Growth as BDD able to use every single Spirit Rush to get himself out of there. But he is going to get evicted from the lane, and Kingen stays alive.
Oh, but Amy's getting some time on the tower. You know he's enjoying this.
Oh, yes. That is the Gold King at work. No one else here. And Aux, at least he did pick the correct skin. Pool Party Ziggs, as we all know, absolutely correct. So nicely done there. Gets some spare time as Scout. Tries to clear out this mid lane and gets punished.
Yeah, so I mean, he just grabs a vial to like, I'm gonna have something to try and turn this around, and it can make you ignore the CC, but then Alistar's there like a second later, and it's like, oh man, I would have loved that.
Yeah. And Cuzz then beelines to the top lane instantly. You saw it, just as soon as he dealt with Scout, he's out of there. And now KT with pretty considerable leads in every lane except for bottom lane. And it's a very KT thing. And maybe it's going to be something that they can play around. The problem is, I just feel like this is not the time where Nongshim is strong. You know?
Oh no, Lehends.
Lehends might be really dead. This time wasn't able to set up the polymorph because the cow was unseen. And Cuzz is the one that locks down the kill. And Lehends, yeah, a little bit of a scratch to the forehead there. As once again being caught out of position just a little.
Yeah, but that solo warding ends up immediately getting punished for it. Nice angle from Effort, to be honest. Finding a way to just circumvent the route that Lehends had, getting behind him. So a nice easy pick up there.
Well played.
And they have a good amount of vision set up already in that area, you can see from KT. So Dragon coming up now. They go for another reset on the back of that and get some buys in. You know, Aiming just picked up Ludens as well. Big spike for the Ziggs.
Yeah, and there's only 3 plates left in that bottom lane. Slurkle flies over, and there are control wards all over the place. KT are going to get pushed out, as Effort is unseen over this wall, but Nongshim will be able to regain some control of the mid lane.
The thing is, the kill
pushes it out.
The kill on the Lehends gives gold, but it doesn't really give anything in terms of burning resources. And they go for that late reset, and Nongshim got to push in and regain some control. So now it's them with more control of the area.
Level 11 for Scout, big deal on that hijack.
Yeah, he does need to grab a high-value ultimate.
Well, Mega Inferno Bomb do a fair bit of damage to the bottom lane here of Nongshim. This Hextech Dragon's actually kind of hurting them as well as Kingen looking to come in. They do try and get the combo down as there's the Paranoia, and the Grim Deliverance is fantastic here, but it's the Nocturne that goes down first. Kingen gets exhausted as Taeyoon just barely, finally will be going down as BDD locks up that kill, and now KT are on the warpath. It's a triple for the Ahri, and Scout, yeah, he's unkillable, but he can't kill them. And over the wall he goes. It's a quadra kill for BDD.
The cleanup is there for KT. BDD getting kill after kill after kill. And the momentum just never really went into Nongshim's favor. We see as the fight starts off, the engage from KT is what's decisive. And Scout takes Alistar ult, but never even really contributes to the fight. He never really even uses the ult on the offset. So Kingen ends up going forward, going in. But it's him and Sponge who get focused down, and Effort soaking a ton of damage, his front line soaking a lot. Taeyoon goes in and just gets targeted. And as this happens, he's just cleaning up members. And Scout still has the ult, by the way. He only uses it then.
Yeah.
He's just kind of on the back foot the whole fight. Never really got stuck in, and then by that point it's already over. And especially into an Ahri, you know, you want to be on the forefront because you have that Alistar ult to make you a harder target to cut through. And like BDD's gone Storm Surge as well. He's gone for this.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's staves. He's just building as many staves as he possibly can. And now Nongshim taking a fair bit of damage here as Aiming, laying down this poke. Hextech Minefield is there, but Shelly should be taken here by Nongshim. Although Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, there's the Paranoia. Sponge is able to lock down Shelly. And does have Flash, will have to use it if he wants to get out of this pit. Will pick up the eye, but I think he's going to sacrifice himself for it as BDD throws down the ulti. They do take down Cuzz, and now BDD could be in trouble. The flash over from Scout, and he cannot get to the blast cone. Effort tries to get himself out of there as now it's Perfect taking the Scout train out of there. And Nongshim will find themselves a fight.
This one was a lot less coordinated from KT, and they didn't get that same momentum. But he's not able to get the resets and just a little bit scattered when they went for the initial engage. I think that's really where you see Nongshim come alive, right? Taeyoon able to get some free hits in. We see good poke coming down from the side of KT, but when they go for this engage, you know, there's this flank TP ward coming through, which is posing a massive threat. Effort gets chunked out. We see BDD getting feared. Although he gets one reset, he's now running away from Taeyoon, who's free hitting, and Scout just immediately pounces on him.
Yeah. Such a fantastic flash there from Scout to deny the exit from BDD and lock down all of that money for Nongshim.
Yeah. Honestly, could have gone worse for KT. Didn't lose that many members, but they did lose the Herald as well.
Yep.
And a big shutdown from BDD.
Well, Effort comes in, gets a combo here onto Sponge, who will have to use that flash in order to get out this time. KT still have a decent advantage. I mean, at this stage of the game, 2.5k is no small amount. But Effort cannot get out of this pit without a flash. Does have to use it as BDD. Oh, he is lurking. Hijack is there for Scout, so Effort is not allowed in here. The chains are just going to go straight into the charm. Cease and desist comes down. And Scout, he gets the ulti, but he's too low. And he's going to be taken out by Cuzz. BDD gets himself away. With a phenomenal spell shield. And BDD will be able to pick up the kill onto the Yunara. And down will go the Nocturne. KT finding a fantastic fight after the last one looked a bit dicey.
That charm was so slick from BDD, just read Taeyoon completely, and able to find a successful fight again. It's the Ahri momentum, it's all about that. Are you getting resets on this fed Ahri, yes or no? And there they managed to find it again. Scout was the one who got caught up on the offset, and the Alistar ult came through so late that it was basically meaningless.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, you know, Effort just has to keep himself invisible until he doesn't really care about that hijack being utilized. And he's playing it pretty well, honestly.
One thing as well is the Ignite and the Orb Deception. A lot of value into the Alistar ult. The true damage cutting through very effectively.
And it's another, like, fantastic charm. So the first charm to open it, but that one. Oh, BDD. And accidentally gets the other kill, or at least helps out with it. As now Perfect and Kingen fighting one another. I think one of the mistakes that KT made in that fight that they did lose around the Herald was engaging onto Kingen. The Grim Deliverance was just really good at sort of resetting the fight. As Perfect is going to face check and will get polymorph. There is the Paranoia as well, as he flashes and dashes and gets himself at least to his turret. Perfect execution the public execution does come down, but he's still very dead. In the meantime, Scout is going to be dashing 1 billion miles, and Cuzz had already pressed R. Taeyoon's also going to have to flash over, and there is the blast cone to get aiming to safety. Or is that a satchel? That was possibly both, because this is Infernal Rift. Still, the Ziggs will survive, and Taeyoon the same thing, both of them having to use flash.
Yeah, I mean, Taeyoon committing for the 1v1 with the flash, but aiming just able to get out of dodge.
It was a blast cone.
Yeah, blast cone and the satchel, I think, was both used in that situation.
Yeah.
But that was hectic.
That was.
Play, picks in the side lane, dangerous. Just exist, it seems like.
Yeah, and the gold lead was 6,000 and has now fallen to 4.7. So Nongshim making some ground.
Dragon up, it is an Infernal Soul, which would be massive for, I mean, either team, but especially for KT. But they are 4 dragons away. Nongshim have 2 again.
Think about it, though. Quadra Infernal Soul. That would solve their problems when it comes to not having enough damage. You know, to like burst them all out. You know, the DPS issue.
Certainly would.
They will be able to just press 3 buttons
also,
and then everyone will die.
Ziggs is just...
Yeah, pretty nutty. Yeah. Well, that is still a long way away. They will be able to get the first Infernal, though, denying Soul Point.
You know who he's waiting for right now.
Oh, yeah.
He wants Lehends. But Scrying Orb from Scout will spot him out.
Cuzz was just like looking somewhere else as he comes down towards his bottom lane. And that is just a pretty comfortable goes for a ride. I like when ProView is used more for the comedy.
Yeah. There's been some good ones. Cuzz is very much a character.
Yep. I like the amount of looking around he was doing as he was going for that play as well. Very sporadic. As anyway, KT. Now, Baron up and available, has been there for about 1.5 minutes, but 4 minutes on the clock for the next Dragon. And Nongshim, they still have this fantastic team composition as far as getting a straight-up 5v5 to work out, right? Like, Kingen can absorb a lot of damage, Sponge can pick up a priority target with Lehends there as well, making him tanky. Problem is that KT have kind of snowballed this game to a point where this composition of theirs actually works. And Effort, despite the fact that he's playing this cow as a difficult lane, he's 1-1-10
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of value. And it's just, again, there's a lot of bruisers on the side of Nongshim, and they are really just trying to get onto the backline, getting the squishy targets. Effort just able to keep bouncing them up in the meantime, surviving for a long time with that ultimate.
Well, Slurkle comes down, Scout waiting to try and get that hijack onto Effort. Charm immediately as Kingen makes his way in. Headbutt Pulverize comes down, but there is that unbreakable will for Scout. He doesn't quite find the chains as Mega Inferno Bomb goes entirely wide. Aiming trying to stay alive, but it does not work as they get on top of him, but down goes Taeyoon as well. Cuzz deals with the enemy jungler, and BDD back into the fight once again. However, Nongshim, I think they have the staying power in this one. That Charm, though, absolutely gorgeous. The headbutt, but Scout will stay alive until the turret finishes him off. And honestly, what was that? An even 3 for 3 in the end?
Yeah, I believe so. Super close fight in the end. And both teams just throwing everything in the kitchen sink to try and get the edge there. We'll see the replay here. So ends up being an engage onto BDD after the Charm is down. Aiming also throws the satchel aggressively and then doesn't have it to get over this wall away from Scout. So he's just kind of a sitting duck. Means he's an easy target. BDD can obviously escape, but he used all of his charges of his ult defensively, didn't get the resets in, and then Effort does a great job of peeling here. But even with that, Scout is able to get the kill in return.
Yeah, that Charm was about as good as BDD could do.
Yeah, and aiming needs to... You need your defensive satchel in this game into all these melee threats.
I think we're looking for another fight as there's another polymorph to come down. Flash out from Cuzz, but he still gets feared. BDD looking to rotate his way over, but I don't know whether Cuzz is escaping this one. As, in fact, maybe he is. Cease and desist is stolen away, though, and BDD is executed. It's Taeyoon that locks down that kill, and now Kingen has found Aiming, who flashes away. In the meantime, though, they get into the backside of the fight, take down Taeyoon, and now it's Perfect that's running amok. The double knockups come through. Kingen put down to the passive, and Perfect will walk it off. Scout, though, still chasing after him. Let's see who has the DPS. And it's Perfect that locks it up. Maybe it is the year of Perfect. He finds the ulti and locks down Lehends. Perfect, you absolute madman. Still, he probably should be going down as the Dustbringer is going to connect, and Kingen finds the spear. But my goodness, take a bow as once again it's a 3 for 3.
I thought it was just Baron. I thought it was just Baron done for Nongshim after they picked the enemy jungler, but Perfect with the hero play to keep their hopes alive. Cuzz just goes a bit over aggressive here, and they have the opportunity to turn on a dime. Look how hard it is for him to get out. You know, gets feared here, gets pulled back. He's gonna dash, gets pulled back again. Eventually they're gonna go in. But they turn on the BDD with this great stolen vial, and he gets deleted.
Yeah.
Aiming gets a lot of damage down over the course of this fight, just throwing bouncing bombs over the wall. But it's Perfect in the mixer, who's just constantly getting value.
And Effort as well, finding that Pulverize on top of the minefield. The fact that Aiming survived with like 1 health actually made a huge difference in this fight.
Yeah, and honestly, Perfect saving the ult here, and he spotted Lehends, like his little hat sticking out of the brush, and when I can find him.
He either spotted him or he didn't.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was my reaction, BDD.
I think he just saw him briefly pop out the rush, and
I'd like to give him credit. I'd like to give him credit, because that was absolutely insane. Nongshim are just going to start Baron, though, I guess. KT once again have a composition that can stop this, but the paranoia comes on down. They're looking for BDD one more time, but he has Spirit Rush, and that is a very dead Nocturne. And public execution, Perfect, I'm not sure about that one, but Mega Inferno Bomb under the rest of the 4 members of Nongshim, and BDD gets into that backline. Satchel to buy some space as Kingen is being very frustrating. They do manage to take down BDD, however, the Zaahen is also dead. The Pulverize onto Scout, and the chains will miss. And now Perfect is dashing around. They find the bomb onto Taeyoon, and that's the ace for KT.
Such a good engage. They turn on a sponge, they blow him up, and then Perfect finds this crazy dive into the back line. The rest of the team just go, yeah, we'll ball, we'll do it. And they manage to only lose 1 member.
Oh my God.
They're just the best team in the league.
I think they might be. And look, if they win here, they will definitely be first place, at least.
I mean, this was just great peel, Effort, and BDD taking them out. And then Perfect just finding the AD carry in the mix. Nearly dying, but setting up all this damage in return for the Ahri to go through.
And the exhaust onto Kingen as well, actually so important to make sure that he doesn't get that damage down.
And Cuzz living here, by the way, like dodging these skill shots.
Yeah, no, that he didn't even need to, and they still would have won incredibly convincingly. As meanwhile in live, we've got another fight brewing. As all right, let's see whether KT can do something about this dragon. Soul point here for Nongshim if they are able to secure it. Obviously, they just want to win the fight, though. Headbutt Pulverize is going to connect as they look to engage onto the Zaahen. It is going to be Sponge that takes down the dragon, but the Zaahen is also dead. And now Nongshim just trying to get themselves out of there with their prize in hand, because takes the massive journey towards Taeyoon, who cannot buy the space, and the bottom lane is just eviscerated. The rest of KT with their Baron should be able to destroy the structures of the Nongshim.
I mean, with the Ziggs as well, it is easy pickings.
Oh, yeah.
They honestly might actually be able to just end. It's 30 seconds. They do so much damage to these structures.
Yeah, and how is Scout and Sponge supposed to clear waves, right? Like, they're melee. They're going to have to try and commit onto something, find an angle. I just don't know whether they can, as now, can you hijack something that's going to work? Sponge is just dead. Nothing that he can do. And Scout dashing on in. He does at least buy some space with the arm guard and looks to try and distract the minions, but it's not going to work. Perfect is going to be fighting, and BDD wants to take it down. And KT pick up a 2-0 against Nongshim to claim sole first place in LCK for 2026. No team can come close to them.